Wyndham Clark is your 2026 U.S. Open champion, and my goodness, this was a fun one to watch. Crazy finish from Wyndham Clark. Crazy clutch birdie on hole 16. Just a very roller coaster of a round for him and for a lot of players, might we say this week at Shinnecock Hills. But Jayden, this is quite a fun one to watch. I don't know about you, but I was entertained the whole way through this one.
I mean, I was entertained. I know a lot of people weren't, though. I've heard a lot of people hate on it.
Well, it depends who you are, but I enjoyed it per se.
I did. I did too.
Definitely wasn't so. Well, of course, I wasn't expecting a very, very low number. If you were, well, I'm sorry to you. But fun week we had. Gonna dive into all of it today. Gonna talk about Wyndham Clark, Scottie Scheffler, Rory's rough finish to the tournament, and a bunch of names today. But with that being said, let's start with our winner, Wyndham Clark. Won the U.S. Open in 2023. Goes through a rough patch through 24 and 25. Then gets to this year's U.S. Open and just holds the lead the entire way. Just, Jayden, from your perspective, kind of just talk about the stretch for Wyndham, just the bounce back from winning in 2023 to the struggle really kind of at Oakmont even, with that incident at Oakmont, just kind of the rough patch and then just this response and really this huge moment for Wyndham at this U.S. Open.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big comeback, big bounce back. I think he finally just found his stride. Um, Obviously, he's had some struggles earlier this year, even. Going back to last year, he had struggles, so he didn't really compete as much as he wanted to. Obviously, as much as we expected since his win at LAGC in 2023. So, you know, it's just like his struggles this year were putting, and in the last 3 weeks, he changed to that new ping putter, and he's been on fire with it. I mean, his putting's been great. Going into this tournament, it was surprising that not many people picked him because in the last three tournaments, the one he won at the CJ Cup, he was number one in putting, strokes gained, and then the next week he was number one in shots approach to the green, number one stroke gain there, and then the last tournament he played in, he was number one in stroke gain around the greens, and so those two numbers, just being number one in those three categories in each of those tournaments, going into this week with a course that demanded each and every one of those, um, it's honestly surprising that he wasn't picked more than what people thought, especially with how hot he's been. And he came in and did the things I think he's been doing the last 3 weeks, and that is being amazing around the greens. His approach game was great this week. Obviously, the last 2 days, the weekend, it wasn't amazing per se. He only hit 9 greens on Saturday. I think Sunday he hit 10 or 11. But so not fantastic numbers, but his up and down, his around the greens, his putting was insanely good. I don't know what he ended up being on Saturday. I know he was 6 of 7 for at one point.
Yeah. He only hit 50. I know he only hit 50% of his greens on Saturday, and I thought that was huge. Like you said, with just his short game being phenomenal this weekend.
Yeah, I think he ended up being like 6 of 8 or 7 of 8. Maybe 7 of 9, something like that. Up and downs around the green on Saturday, and so it's just insanely good. Obviously, Saturday, Sunday was more of a uglier rounds from him per se, especially after the first day and second day and being 7 under. But he did his work. He did what he needed to do to win, and that's all that mattered. He's just he fought this week. He was obviously the best golfer out there. It was going to be a short game type of course, man. It was all reliant on how good the short game was, and his putter did not let him down. I know he missed a couple of putts yesterday that maybe he should have made and been a little more comfortable down the stretch, but hey, man, he made the putts he needed to, and he walked out with a W.
Yeah, a big thing you highlighted, just the short game.
Okay.
And the big thing is on Saturday, how easily, and even yesterday, how easily those rounds could have gotten out of hand
100%.
and could have easily just sent a spiral downhill for him. He made the clutch shots, and that's what you have to do to win these tournaments. Like that's
Exactly.
you may not have your best stuff from the fairway or wherever you're at. Of course, play tough. It
Yeah.
had all week, but to do what he did with his short game, to get around the green the way he did, and really prevent himself from going downhill was huge for his success this week for Wyndham Clark, and just what a big week for him, and really happy for him. I want to really go to a couple other guys. Shout out Sam Burns and Tom Kim. I mean, those two guys made a nice push
Yeah.
at the end.
I want to give.
It was looking very interesting.
Yeah, I want to give credit to Sam Burns. Man competes his tail off. I mean, yesterday, I mean, hey, great to Wyndham. I do want to say I am very happy for him. I know not a lot of people wanted him to win per se, especially after last year at Oakmont, but I think he's overcome that, and he's played really good, and so glad for him to win. But if he wouldn't have won, I would have loved to see Sam Burns win, especially after last year at Oakmont and what he went through. Um, he's a dog, man. He fights. And Tom Kim came out of nowhere. I think he's ranked like 167th in the world, 149th, something like that. And
Yeah, they hurt.
yeah, he was
in the hundreds.
yeah, he played great this week. Finally, he's had his up and down for sure. But those two guys, yeah, they fought their tail off. I know at the end maybe they didn't win, but they can be happy with how it was.
Yeah, and, a couple other guys. Scottie fell short again. I think still kind of promising. I think a promising week still. Like obviously he didn't win,
For sure.
but kind of what it could have been again. Another slow start.
Yeah.
I think he really gave himself that chance and put himself in the hunt.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately again, just couldn't really put himself together and really piece around together. But I still think it was a promising finish. And a little bit of a promising finish. I think maybe a little more light at the end of the tunnel from how I see it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
but
he
again,
he did Scottie things, and on Saturday he put himself in the position to be able to go out there and put himself in the last grouping. It just, man, his putting kind of let him down. His short game kind of let him down in general. It wasn't normal. Of course, they challenged everybody with approach shots, especially these greens yesterday. But I think Scottie had a little more trouble this week than what we've seen with him with his irons a little bit, and then his putting when he needed it, it just he didn't really have it. But at the same time, I'm calling it now. He's winning the U.S. Open next week, next year at Pebble. I feel like this Grand Slam is very easy. I think accomplishable for him. I mean, he's a great golfer, and again, it seems that he's always puts himself in the position to win. Just fell short again this week. He will win again eventually on tour soon enough, whether it's this week or a couple weeks from now or at the Open or something. He will win again. Man's just these are bad weeks. I mean, this is a Scottie slump, and he's just placing top 5 in everything.
For sure. All right, final shout out before I go to the final player I want to talk about. Let's shout out the amateurs this week. What a week for these guys.
Yeah.
Like Ryder Cowan, Jackson Coyven, Miles Russell. I mean, the amateurs this week, what a performance from these guys. Just competing at the U.S. Open at a very difficult golf course.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome just seeing them do what they did. We'll kind of give your thoughts on them, but I thought just Ryder Cowan competing especially, and even Jackson Coyven competing, and Miles Russell, just all these amateurs, being in the light and competing on such a big stage has got to feel good for them, and really a nice stepping stone for these guys.
Sure. I mean, I want to give a shout out to every single one of them, all 5 amateurs that made the cut. Eric Lee, Maurice Fleming, Miles Russell, Ryder Cowan, and Jackson Coyven getting we're co-winners of the amateur. They were low amateurs there. They played great. They played amazing. Obviously, Ryder Cowan had the lead at one point on Thursday. I mean, they played great. It just shows you how good the amateurs are coming up. How good they can be. how good they are and what the competition will be like here in just a few years. I mean, obviously Jackson Coyven joining the PGA. This is his last amateur event. He will join. He will actually play his next event at the John Deere here in a couple weeks. Um, so I mean, PGA Tour is in great hands, is what it shows you. And they played absolutely insane. I mean, they played great this week. Especially, I do want to say, Miles Russell being 17 and doing that is he will be a star.
Absolutely. Just good, great performance from all these amateurs, and just what a nice, really kind of refreshing moment for golf fans just to see what the future of the PGA Tour holds.
Sure.
We're to the final guy, and just kind of a big shocker. Rory really took a deep tumble towards the end of this tournament. I mean, he was looking great after round two, kind of, still in contention, but just couldn't find stride on the back nine. He ended up finishing T32 for the week. But, man, he just could not seem to get a hold after round two. Just a lot of struggles. And just the back nine, of all things, really tore him up.
Mm-hmm.
I think he played the front nine great at Shinnecock, and then he gets to the back nine and just the wheels kind of fell off really majority of the majority of the 4 rounds. Just once he made the turn, it was really rough for him. And I thought he really struggled really piecing around together once he turned to the back nine and made the turn. I mean, what were your thoughts on Roy this weekend, and what kind of all went down?
Short game let him down. I mean, plain and simple. His short game was not good this week. It was really bad. I don't know if it's just statistically where he ranked in that, but I know it had to be pretty low, especially for what we've seen with Roy just this year. Um, Obviously, winning the Masters again in his short game was great. Then he hasn't played too much since then, and I think he's played in 3 events since the Masters. And so I don't know if this is a just hasn't played a lot type of issue, or if it's just a off week for Rory, and it easily could be. He's not playing at the Travelers this week. Another missed signature event for him. I wouldn't be surprised if the Open if he doesn't play to the Open. I don't know, but his short game let him down, and I mean obviously he's good. He's still number 2 player in the world for a reason. He's still already got a major this year. He could easily win another one. Just not a great week for his short game, and that was a course that I just couldn't let you down.
Yeah, for sure. And on the back nine, he was 6 over on the week. I just did that right now while I was sitting here, but he was 6 over on the back nine. He shot 6 over for the week, and he played the front side even. Or no, he played the front side. Yeah, he played front side even. But again, just can't have that in a major. But again, things happen. It happens to the best players in the world. You saw it in this event. You mentioned he's not going to play the Travelers, so we kind of hope all's okay with him. And things happen, and looking forward to his next event and seeing what he can do there. But just what a fun event we had, and really thoroughly enjoyed watching the U.S. Open this week.
Yeah.
And saw a lot of great golf, saw the amateurs shine, saw craziness, and very, very fun U.S. Open to watch for sure, to say the least.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it for me today. Is there anything
I do want to give a shout out though to Keith Mitchell. He shot 4 rounds
that was
even, first time ever in a U.S. Open, and he also shot 29 on the backside in his first round after he went out and shot 40.
That must have been a good hot dog at the turn, dude.
I think it's
must have been a good hot dog or something at the turn, bro. What?
Ever that somebody shot 29 in the U.S. Open and then shot 4 rounds of even. He played his tail off this week. I mean, I love his style, but his style of game was fun to watch at Shinnecock this week.
What a fun week for dude! What a blast! That was funny. I did see that. I loved this. I love just all the stuff that came out after that. But good for him, man. And we had fun watching it. We had a great week, and I'm just very glad we got to watch that and enjoy all of that. But that's gonna do it for us here today. Thank y'all for joining us. go follow us at Across the Board when we post new episodes out. We do have a lot of content coming out soon within the next couple weeks or so. We got a lot to cover. More preseason football that time of year. Really up transfer portal updates and looking to college team rosters. And we will be breaking down Omaha here within the next couple of days. So go follow us when we post all that stuff out at Across the Board at YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Instagram, YouTube. Already said that. TikTok. And I think that's all of them, right?
I think so.
Well, that's going to do it from us here. Thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you all next time on Across the Board.